Happy Friday and welcome to the Connectors Coast. I can't even talk. Connectors Pulse. Wow, it's been a week. It's Friday, and here we are live. So I have an amazing guest today, and I can't wait to share more about her. If you can please drop in the comments, where are you from? What do you do? And maybe what are you doing this weekend? What do we have planned? So today on the Connectors Pulse, we were talking backstage, Natalie Spiro, and she wears so many hats. I asked her how to introduce her, and she just does so many things. So I would say she is an author. She is a coach. She is an organizational psychologist. She has her MBA. She's been in South Africa. She's been in Israel. She's been in America. She has a true story here, and I can't wait for her to tell it. So without further ado, please welcome Natalie Spiro.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. So excited, Christine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We were talking backstage, and I think we could have talked. I say this about most of my guests too, because we just have this connection. So I want you to share your story, your world. Just tell us more about who you are, what you do, and we'll go into our first topic after that.
Of course, I will. Well, I'm going to start, I guess, with I originated from Johannesburg, South Africa, since everyone in America thinks they hear the accent and they say, are you Australian? Are you from New Zealand? Are you English? So I'm from South Africa, born in Tel Aviv, Israel, but, my father's South African, my mother's from Egypt. They met in Israel, but we kind of came to South Africa when I was around 4 years old. So literally I grew up in South Africa. As you said earlier, I became an organizational psychologist and then did my MBA, and that really came out of my passion for people and business. And I love to mix the two together. You can see the sun's kind of like here, it's going to rise. So it will do that soon in its own time. Well, in South Africa, I'm kind of really just going to give my story when I moved here, because my husband at the time, him and I immigrated together to San Diego in America. My parents were here, my brother was here, so it was kind of a logical place to land. And he's now my ex-husband, unfortunately, but we had quite a difficult transition coming to America. I guess, we went through a divorce pretty soon after we arrived. We were caught up in a Ponzi scheme that was family induced, I guess. And I really, left. I remember just leaving the house with really my suitcase. It sounds kind of crazy, but it was true. I had nowhere to go. A friend of mine had to loan me $1,000 to put a deposit on a house that I was renting here in the south part of San Diego. And anyway, so one weekend I went to a workshop, a retreat. There was an author by the name of Debbie Ford, and her first book was The Dark Shadow of the Light Chasers, or The Light Chasers of the Dark Shadow. Anyway, I went to her workshop and had this vision. We did a visualization on our purpose, our why. And during this visualization, I was, going up an escalator, and there was this big kind of boulder at the top. It's one of those escalators that you do at the airport, which doesn't have steps. It's just kind of flat, but it goes very steep up. And there was this big kind of boulder, and I was panicking around what was going to happen. I was going to be tumbling backwards. Anyway, all of a sudden, this wizard-looking figure kind of jumped out the back of the boulder and said, Natalie, you're the magician, right? You can do this. You can just transform. You can push through, and you make your own transformations. And the message that came to me was, you are going to shift and change energy on this planet by one or by many. And that was kind of 23 years ago. And literally, I will tell the story about how that unfolded because I had no idea what that even meant at that point in my life. But I had a friend in South Africa who had this show called Drumstruck, and he contacted me and he said, you know, you would be great doing this. Drumstruck is kind of like an interactive stomp, if you will. If any of you remember Stomp, so it was like with everybody, but this would be everybody in the audience having drums. So it's a highly interactive, engaging experience. And anyway, so, you know, he said, you should really be doing this in America. You know, you're an organizational psychologist, you have an MBA, you should be doing this. And anyway, so one night I went to a party and I met a woman who was the SVP of Motorola, and we got talking. I remember her name was Laura Lozano. We're still actually good friends today. She lives now in San Antonio, Texas. And we started talking, and I really didn't know what I was going to be doing. And she asked me, you know, what are you doing in America? And I had seen a few videos that Warren sent me, which really moved me, like physically moved me. And I started riffing with her. And at the end of the conversation, she said, wow, I'm having a meeting for 100 regional managers in Las Vegas, and I'm not going to hire a keynote speaker. I want you. And I said, fantastic. That's awesome. And I literally kind of ran home and contacted Warren, and I said, listen, I'm flying to Johannesburg. I need you to train me on something. I need to learn how to use the djembe. I've just landed Motorola, and, you know, it's an amazing company. So I did that, came back, and a girlfriend of mine took me to an opening of an art museum. And at that art museum, it was all about African art, which was really interesting. And I kind of walked through the doors, and there were djembe players. And djembe is the drum that we use. It's a West African drum. It has a goat skin and, you know, wooden shell. And literally, they were from Guinea and Ghana, and there were 3 of them. And I was like, I want you, I want you, I want you. So we all got together and we kind of configured a program. I flew Warren in. We practiced, you know, on the deck of at my house. And literally, while I was in South Africa, I also went to a farmer's market, found a guy selling these djembe drums. I bought 100 of them, shipped them to San Diego. A friend of mine actually helped me release them from customs. And they were in my garage, stored in my garage. And we put them into a U-Haul, went to Vegas and delivered this event. And they absolutely loved it. In fact, loved it so much, she hired me again. And in fact, was the first client that said to me, you need to charge me more than you're charging. So really saw the ROI, the value in the program. And that's really how I started. I was telling Christina earlier that it was kind of, you know, the universe is magical in the way it works, because when you're on the right path and you have the energy behind, you know, you have the energy to do something. You know, it was almost like I had these pebbles thrown in front of my feet with a meeting of this woman, with the, you know, going to the art museum, with finding the drums so easily. Everything happened and unfolded easily for me to kind of start the path. And that's not saying that the business has been easy, because it has not, but the introduction into the business was easy because it was what I was supposed to be doing. And when I ran that event, I really understood for the first time what it meant to shift and change energy on this planet by one or by many. And just seeing the audience react, all engineers, kind of really got me to understand that.
Yeah, I mean, it's moving, right? And I feel like there's a lot of stories, like, you know, when people come to America, they have these big aspirations and dreams, and it's not always what you see in the Hollywood movie, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that really resonates with a lot of people, because it's not always a linear upward path of growth. And when you do get those pebbles and thrown in front of you in that pathway, that's your sign to keep going. That's the growth path, right? So, and it's twisty, it's curvy, it's, there's some valleys. And I'm sure you can attest to that, which brings us to our first topic. So thank you for sharing that story. What does this company mean to you? So what do you think, what does this topic mean to you actually?
Yeah, totally. Great question. Well, so I never had any children, and I didn't want any children. So I don't know why. Now I kind of regret it a little bit, but I didn't want children. And for me, it was like, I remember my best friend at my wedding spoke and said, Natalie won't have children. She's going to have little companies. And it feels like that's kind of, Drum Cafe North America really became my baby. And it became my baby because I love what I do each and every day. So to be able to work with people, to kind of see people enter a room, because I'll have to kind of give you an explanation of how it works. So typically if a company signs us up, we typically open an event or come in the middle or close an event. They're 45 to 60 to 90-minute programs. The programs have really developed over the 22 years that I've been in business. And, people walk in and there are drums on every chair, right? And they look at this, they see a team of musicians playing this West African music on stage, and they're like, whoa, what's about to happen here? This is the complete antithesis of what I'm used to, in typical meetings that I come into, where there's going to be a video or there's going to be somebody coming up on stage and talking at me, and here there's drums on chairs and there's music. And so some people come in dancing, some people come in like they saunter in the back, they've still got their coffee from breakfast if it's an opening, not quite sure what's really going to happen, and sit towards the back, and then others come forward and some dance in the front. You can very much tell people's characters, and who you are is and where you go is who you are and where you go. Like you take yourself with you wherever you are. So it's amazing to watch people transform in a 60 to 90-minute program. And some people are already transforming within the first 15 minutes, literally. The first 15 minutes, they sit down, they pick up their drum, our facilitators step forward, and it's completely nonverbal. And, people are following instruction of the facilitator, and just the kind of primal feeling of hitting a drum is as it is so primal, and people love doing that. And you just see the light in their faces come out, and just that moment for me is a very special moment, because it's almost like meditation or a walk in the garden, or whatever you do to ground and to be present, to get into the present moment, which is really all there is. That's what I see happen. And so for me, that moves me energetically, and that the energy is very circular. So the people that I have met in this business, and not only in terms of my clients, because I've done events from Google, Microsoft, and Intel, all the way to nonprofits, to associations, to schools. You should see these kids light up. Layla in your team was talking about, us coming to her school in South Africa, and it was, it's transformative. Just so people engage together, they actually have a meaningful interactive experience. They're not just being talked at, they're involved in, and that to me is everything.
I mean, the energy alone, it sounds like as soon as you walk into this experience, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
obviously people that are maybe a little bit more reserved, or maybe, you never know what anybody's backstory is either, right? You don't know, like maybe they had a bad morning, maybe they didn't wake up on time, maybe their kids kept them up all night, but the fact that you can kind of erase that for the 60 to 90 minutes,
Yeah.
if you will, and kind of table that so
Yeah.
you can enjoy the experience with other people. And as humans, we are communal people. We thrive off of community. I mean, some people are more introverted than others,
Yeah.
but having that, and I think that there's something about the frequency, about the beat, about doing it together, making music together. I mean, that's really powerful. And I'm sure, people, I know I have high functioning anxiety. So sometimes I listen to certain frequencies to help calm. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that a beat that helps calm. Sometimes it's like, for me, it's like listening to water, or
Mm-hmm.
listening to a certain frequency or of drums. And you kind of take yourself out of that anxiety with
Yeah.
deep breathing to kind of like let it pass. And, I think that's incredible. And I love that Layla got to experience that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
incredible to see that transformation in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, just to come back to two things you said, the first thing you ever experience in life is your mother's heartbeat, right? That's the first rhythm you ever experience. And that's what comforts you as kind of whatever you are growing in the womb, that do, right? Consistent. You also said, people, you don't know what people's backgrounds are. And it's so true. I have a wonderful story I just quickly love to share with you, because there's no judgment in this. This is what's so beautiful about it. Like, we meet people at their map of the world. And yes, you're right. I think it's a message for life, actually, is not to judge what other people are and make assumptions of where they're at, because you never know what happens in the background, right? You don't know how they woke up. But what's so fantastic about this program is that they might walk in feeling that way, and in the 60 minutes it changes. But what it does is it changes for them, it changes their entire kind of persona, and allows them to make different choices for the day and for the next several days that they're at the retreat or workshop, right? So basically what it does is kind of, there was a woman once that, walked in, and I noticed she was sitting in like the third or fourth row, and she kind of, had her arms like this, and she wouldn't touch her drum. And at the beginning, I could see the person next to her was like looking at her and saying,
What are you doing?
why are you not drumming?
Yeah.
And I noticed her, and I just kind of left her. It's not I want the process to unfold for people. And if she doesn't want to participate, something's going to impact in her anyway, through other people around her. The energy is going to move through her. The vibration is in the whole room, right? Ultimately, she kind of started like hitting the drum with one hand, and then she started with two hands. And then she started following the instruction, and literally by the end, I mean, she was soloing on her drum, because I pick out certain people to kind of express their voice on the drum. And she started soloing on her drum, and the boss came to, her boss who hired me came up to me after the event and said to me, Natalie, I don't know what you did. This person never participates in team meetings, doesn't engage. She said, I don't know what you did, but I want you back each week, because I don't know. You've transformed this person. I've never seen anything happen like that. And that's the power of rhythm. That had nothing to do with me. I was just the facilitator of the process. That was the power of rhythm. And that's what I love about this.
It's that just, and all it takes, right? Maybe it's just that one beat, that one step that, you show up for yourself, right? And sometimes maybe that inner critic in her was telling her, I can't do this. People are going to judge me, and whatever she was internalizing at that moment. And maybe there was people judging her because she wasn't following, right, what everybody else was doing. And then all of a sudden she felt that. And sometimes when you have that you kind of let go of that inner critic, the thing that tells you, you're doing it all wrong, you're never going to succeed, just start on Monday, all of these things that our inner critic tells us. And then you just take that first step and realize that you had that momentum all along. Yeah. Then sometimes it just takes that one thing. And you won't know where that one thing is if you don't try. Right. And I think that's beautiful. That's a beautiful, like, just to see that come into fruition. I had a client not too long ago, and she came to the session, like, just angry about the day. And I could tell, like, when people come in, I could just immediately tell, like, what's going on. And I said, okay, let's just set this intention, but we're going to move with purpose today. We're going to move with intention. And I want you to pick up that weight and move with intention, but know that you have the power to be the person you want to be, not the person you were when you walked in here. Yeah. And I can tell you, by the end of that session, in 45 minutes, she's like, I feel like a new person. I'm like, good. She's like, thank you. I'm like, no, thank you. Thank you for showing up, because when you move with purpose and you move with intention and you lift the weight, it's not just about lifting the weight to get stronger. You're physically getting stronger with momentum and energy. Yeah. And emotions are energy in motion. So we put those energy in motion.
Yeah. And I love that story that you told, because I love going to the gym, and but I love that story because what it does is we all have choice as humans, right? We can choose to wake up sometimes you'll wake up, you've had a bad dream, and that can set the tone of the day. Alternatively, you can make the choice in a split second to say, that was then, this is now, and I'm going to have whatever your strategy is, I'm going to be grateful for everything today and notice things today, whether it's a butterfly or a hummingbird or a new fruit on a tree, whatever it is. It's about, if we want to move and we want to transform, you can't transform without action. And what I love about the drumming and rhythm is that it starts, there's a neuroscience about it. I mean, you start changing your neural pathways that way. And by changing those neural pathways, it's like reframing. So with exercise, it's the same thing. It's not like, oh, I got to go to the gym today and I got to work out because I've got to keep my body moving. It's like, no, I'm going to kind of feed my body today. My body's going to move and it's going to feel flexible and it's going to feel amazing. And it's that transformation that really, those small shifts move you along in life.
And they change your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone like trying to get healthy, trying to get better sleep, trying to avoid burnout, and you just do it. And then those small changes, they're just a chain reaction, which brings us to our next topic. Speaking of chain reaction, how does this work fulfill you? I think that's a perfect segue. Like, once you feel that shift, how do you feel fulfillment in the shift and realize that you're on the right path?
Yeah. I think the fulfillment for me comes from a lot of different things, because as as we both know, being entrepreneurs, life is lonely as an entrepreneur, as a CEO. I mean, you join certain associations to kind of be with like-minded people, whether it's entrepreneurs organization or YPO or WPO, women's, youth organization, or professional organization, whatever it is. You join these organizations because you want to be with people who are like-minded. But majority of the time, the journey is lonely. And so what I love about this work is really, and what fulfills me, is the fact that I have the most beautiful musicians that I work with. So I have a team of musicians who are professional musicians. They love their craft. They live for their craft. They're artists. They, they understand. They create, and they help me grow. They've taught me so much about being in sync with my own rhythm, because when you bring in the creativity with the business, I'm very fortunate to have a little bit of the creativity and artistry and then the business part, because sometimes artists lack the business part and entrepreneurs lack the the artistic part. And they have taught me a lot about just integrating, grounding, listening to the different rhythms. Also, because we have different ceremonies, every rhythm in West Africa, or every ceremony has a specific rhythm. And, we just recently did an event for a company called Waterstep, and what they do, Mark Hogg is the CEO and founder of that. And it was the most brilliant experience because they have brought down the death of children from waterborne diseases. They've saved 2 million lives by what they've created, and their aim is to bring it down to zero. And we did a fundraiser event for them, and so just one of my musicians is from Burkina Faso, West Africa, and this is where Mark Hogg started. And how he started was listening to the drum beats that were the group, the tribe coming together to play the specific rhythm for the death of this child from a waterborne disease. And his journey started because of that. And so my drummer, Draman Kone, came forward and played this rhythm for the death experience, and then played a rhythm for the celebration. And you could tell the difference of the two. And so just the appreciation of these drummers and their culture, and each one is different because I have people from America, I have Latinx drummers, I have drummers that have gone on tour with Beyonce and all these famous people. And then I've got Grammy award-winning drummers and people from West Africa and all over Africa, per se. I've drummed with Japanese drummers. And so just meeting all these different cultures is really a very fulfilling experience. And then on the other hand is the people that I actually work with, my clients, who a lot of them have become my friends. And, they've taken me as they move from company to company, they have taken me with them because the experience has been so powerful. So that's really what's so fulfilling for me.
And I'm sure word of mouth is just, it's like wildfire, right?
Yeah, that's how I built my business, really, is word of mouth. Yeah.
That's incredible. I saw Layla and Jesse in the chat, and we're doing not a drum, but Jesse is, she does sound healing. And she does a lot of sound baths. So that's going to be part of our retreat. So if you have not heard that we are doing a retreat, it's retreat.reviding.com. And we are doing workouts, meal prepping, sound healing, walking outdoors. We're going to go hikes. There's waterfalls, which I'm super excited about. This is the place to reset. This is the place to really find what's making you tick. Probably also to take a load off. We always talk about how we have to go, the hustle, but we sometimes take a misstep when we don't understand that there's power in pause. There is a pivot in the pause, and that when you are present and calm, you can actually think of so many different things. And I'm sure that you can attest to this too, Natalie, by so many businesses that you've had. It wasn't just like this. It happened because there were pivots, there were pauses, and there were resets. And sometimes the setback is is where you break through. So, which brings us to our next topic, which we are just cruising along here. What exactly the breakthrough? What drives your passion for it? This is just seemingly coming together. So, what drives your passion for it?
It's a deep question. I love the question because I think I'm just generically a passionate individual about life and people, and want to have faith in humanity, being kind, people being curious, You know, I'm also a Gallup Clifton strengths coach and an executive coach. And then I also mentor CEOs through Pinnacle Global Network. I mentor CEOs to scale their businesses over $1 million and, you know, into the 7-8 figure kind of numbers. And I guess just seeing people transform and step into their best selves. I would say if I had to take all the pieces of why I feel passionate, is watching other people grow into the best that they can be. And whether it's friends of mine that I have just had conversations with, or clients, or through this experience of drumming, or coaching people, you know, who are leaders of companies to create high-performing teams. When you put people in places where they love what they do and they're engaged and they feel needed and they feel heard and they feel the sense of belonging, which is different from being included, right? Being included is being brought in, but belonging is shown that your voice really counts. So an example of that would be like if I was in an organization with many cultures, which I've, you know, often designed leadership academies for these kinds of companies, and dealt with people who are multicultural. And most of the time people say, you know, the majority don't understand my culture, and they don't understand the food we eat, the holidays we have, why I, you know, fast on such a day, or celebrate on another day. And to really get people to be curious about it, to have the humility and the curiosity of understanding the human being from whatever culture they're from. And it's because I come from a lot of different ethnicities. I'm what they call in French a potpourri, right? Like a mixed pot. And that's where I draw my passion, is watching people transform, because I know that when people transform, that the ripple effect outwards, you'll never know as an individual, but you impact. It's like throwing a stone on, you know, on water, and people use that kind of metaphor a lot. It's, you know, it sounds trite, but it's really true, is that we make shifts with other people, and you never know down the line how. Yes, I love that, Rick. Passion forward. It's so brilliant. Instead of paying it forward, it's passion forward. Watching other people, you know, you don't know how far that's going to go down the line, and really affect other people. And so, you know, I'm actually launching a nonprofit now because of my passion. I want to do something. I want to also do a give back. And there are so many children, you know, I feel like almost like we've really got to look at the children now, because they're the ones who are in need of really understanding, you know, humility, being kind of socially and emotionally aware, right? It all starts with having that high EQ, that high, you know, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management, and definitely spiritual vibrations, Rick. I love that, because it's all part of it, right? And you know, having those kids grow from a young age, knowing that, instead of spending, you know, like us as adults, you know, I feel I was very fortunate to have felt the need in my life, through a lot of dysfunctionality in my family life, to go out and really find myself and step into the best person that I could be, and give what I was supposed to do here. Whether I have one life or whether people believe in reincarnation or not, it's irrelevant. But how do you be the best person that you are here? And, you know, so I did a lot of work on myself, a lot of self-development. And now I want to, work with kids who can't afford, and schools who are being, where funds are being cut. It's going to be something very exciting. And I'm launching my kind of first, it's called the Rhythm Bus. And it's going to be in North Carolina. And I'm going to leave the rest. I don't want to talk too much about it right now. But it's giving back so that schools that can't afford it can still receive an experience for their kids.
Wow, that's so amazing. I was talking to, it's just reminding me, it's interesting how you make these connections with people. And like Rick was saying, and, everything, the spirituality, whether you believe in whatever God or higher being, universe, whatever you want to call it, we can all come together and realize that we are different, but we're all human, right? So that's our 1 degree of separation, right? If you will. And I was talking to somebody today, and my daughter was helping me plant some things. And I've never really been a plant person, but since we got to Spain, I've become a plant lady. And my husband he always is like, well, there's more oxygen in her. I'm like, yeah, okay, great. Yes, that's what it is. But I just like recorded because I just wanted to see like how she was interacting and, all these things. And it made me think that, going through life, right, and there's like ups, downs, in betweens, and how we can break the cycle. And growth isn't linear, right? But when you know that you stop the wash, rinse, repeat, and you broke the cycle so you can be a better person, so you can be better for other people. And it was just awesome to see like how we were planting together to do that,
Yeah.
Only 4. And she's very empathetic, very passionate. If you see her back here, she loves a power pose. She's going to be the CEO of something, so she might be on your radar soon. And my son too, they just have such sensitivity. And I just hope that they never lose that, and that's something that we need to show our next generation. Not only to have strength to stand up for yourself, but also there's community. There are people that we can do this together, and there is humanity, but we need to come together and rise together. So I love that you said that you're giving back. I mean, that's an amazing nonprofit idea. When is it coming? I mean, I know you don't want to give away too much, but you said it's in North Carolina. Is it coming out this year, next year?
North Carolina will be the first pilot, because that's where my first bit of funding is coming from. Although I'm on the lookout now for funding all over, so that, my vision is, and I'm going to manifest this vision, it's going to be completely national and global. I apologize for the sun. If you want me to move now.
We can see you. You're totally fine. As long as you're not blinded by the sun.
I'm
and I do. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no. You asked it. It's probably within 3 months is kind of my target.
3 months. Awesome. Okay. So this year-ish?
Kind of end of the year. Towards the end of the year, like a celebration kind of before everything shuts down.
Awesome. So would this be like your new baby? I remember you said that you're at your wedding and your friend said you're not going to have babies. So this would be would you call it a passion project, or what would you call it?
It's definitely a passion project. Yes.
Love that. Definitely. So there's going to be a lot of love, and love is the highest vibration. So when you love, that your heart is extending. And I'd always like to say, you don't want it to be a big cannonball splash. You want it to be that slow ripple, and that ripple just keeps touching other people, because that energy is contagious. And our mind, like we're hardwired to think 5 times more negative thoughts. So to change lanes and to change gears to be positive takes work, but that work can translate and touch other people. So you're doing incredible, incredible things. Okay, Natalie, where can people find you? What other things are you launching? I know you said you're an author, you have a book coming out. So let us hear all the things.
So, I'm launching a book. It's called The Rhythm of Leadership, and it's really how we honor ancestral wisdom of rhythm and how we apply that to modern day principles of leadership. I'm not sure that will probably launch in 26. And, my rhythm bus is launching hopefully at the end of the year, if not certainly the first kind of January 2026. My website is, I don't know if you want me to just give my details, but
you lay it all out for us. You lay it all out. Where can we find you? This is your time to shine. You lay it. We want you. Everybody wants to find you. We want to be part of your ripple. We want to be in your vibration. So tell us where to find you.
So I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, under Drum Cafe North America. And my website is, drumcafenorthamerica.com. You can find me at Natalie, Natalie, at drumcafenorthamerica.com. And my cell phone is where, the best place. You can text me anytime, call me anytime, 858-583-1960. Or you can, Facebook me, also at drumcafenorthamerica.com, whatever the Facebook handle is, LinkedIn, I'm on all of them. So that's really where you can find me.
I can't wait to follow along. I mean, this is an incredible journey. And I know, do you have clips of you drumming? I mean, I feel like that would be fabulous to listen to.
I do. I mean, I could share them with you. Probably difficult to put them on now because.
Maybe you can share them in the comments after the show.
Yes, what I can do is I can put links to them.
Yes,
for sure.
Perfect. And maybe we could play these at the retreat. So that would be a cool preview to do that as well. It can be how we wake up in the morning before we go to the waterfall. So thank you so much. Yeah. I mean,
so I'll send it to you for sure.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for coming. This was great to get to know you, to know what you're about. You are a powerhouse, and you do this with love, and you can tell how much it means to you, but you're doing it to help other people. You are a servant and serving other people with so much passion. So thank you for that. And thank you for being you and really taking your babies and sharing them with us.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate you. And I will be coming to visit you in Spain at some point next year.
Please do. Yes, please come. The door is open.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Well, happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.